This is how I lost $30,000 with my skincare brand. I lost $30,000 building my own skincare line. 10,000 units ordered, the packaging was designed, the website was fully ready to launch. And then right before launch, I decided to cancel everything. No refund of the 10,000 orders. I didn't have any investors, just a big hole in my bank account. But also the biggest lesson of my career. Hey guys, Doreen here. Normally I only show the good parts of the business. I show the vlogs, the results, the success. But today I want to share the other side. Because the reality is, the biggest lessons that you learn are never from the wins. They are always from the decisions and the moments that completely break your plans. So I'm going to take you through exactly how I built my first skincare brand, how I failed right before launch, and what I learned from it. These lessons I'm still using to this day to scale my own e-commerce store that is generating multiple 7 figures a year. My dropshipping stores started doing really well and I felt absolutely unstoppable. I was 20 at the time, I had an office, we were living in Belgium, and we had just gone from testing random dropshipping products online to finally building a real e-commerce brand. I've always been super obsessed with skincare and my dream was to start my own skincare brand online. I saw other people and companies selling cleansers, serums, moisturizers, and I thought if they can do it, then I can do it too. So I moved fast. Within a month I had my suppliers, I had my designers design the packaging, the website looked super clean, and I actually mixed excitement with validation. I never stopped to ask, does the world really want my skincare products? I only asked, do I want to build this? You can love an idea, but if it isn't backed by data and validated yet, then you can't make a business out of it. So the biggest mistake I could do was ordering my 10,000 units of products. The designs looked amazing, the formula was super clean, but the supplier said I could only order the product if I ordered 10,000 units. And they kind of convinced me with saying that the price would be much better if you did so. So I just made the decision and bought the 10,000 units. That was a very quick $30,000 spent, but I was truly convinced this was the best idea. But here's the thing, I didn't validate anything. I didn't do any tests to gather data. The only thing I had was a logo, 10,000 products sitting in China, and a clean website. And halfway through production, I was actually finally sitting down and thinking, will anyone buy this? And honestly, when I look back, there were so many signs that this business wasn't gonna work in the first place. The formulas, they were clean, but they were so basic. There was no difference from my products and, for example, a well-established brand like L'Oreal, the Inky List, or The Ordinary. And of course, the market was so overcrowded. I mean, skincare. There is so much skincare on the market. Every influencer was even starting a skincare brand. So why would anyone even choose my small little brand? So there came the time that I actually already knew this is not gonna work, but I still kept telling myself, I already started this, I already made the investment, I'm not gonna stop now. But that is called the sunk cost fallacy. It's when you keep investing in something simply because you already invested so much. So a lesson would be, listen to your gut, because I already had that small gut feeling that it was not gonna work out, and I should have listened to it and then checked it by looking at data, by looking at the market, but instead I chose to ignore it completely. So then came the turning point that I actually started comparing ourselves to other brands, to other influencers, to other brands that had dermatologists backing their products. And then I really saw, okay, we are not even standing a single chance. Our line looked really nice, I would buy it, but it was not revolutionary. I don't think anyone would buy this. So I made the decision that every entrepreneur dreads. I called the manufacturer and I said, we are canceling the launch. I paid the remaining invoices. I didn't ask for any refund. I just took full responsibility and stepped away. And honestly, looking back at it now and with the knowledge that I have now, I think I would have made it work, because there are ways to penetrate such a competitive market. But I didn't have that knowledge at the time yet. So at the time, that was the right decision. And that was such a hard day. I remember crying that night and feeling so insecure and so like a failure. Because I didn't just lose money, I also lost the image of what success could look like. But that also led to one of the biggest lessons of my life, and that was real entrepreneurs don't just know when to start, they also know when to stop. Because courage isn't always continuing, it's also knowing when to step away. So what did losing $30,000 teach me? So looking back at it now, I don't think losing that $30,000 was a failure to me. It was a big lesson. It actually taught me to think way different about business, and that whenever I have an idea that I want to start, I first validate it. Before launching any idea, I would first go on a marketing platform, test the idea with a small budget before I spent even a penny on production. I would also work in way smaller batches. So at the time, I agreed to ordering 10,000 units from that manufacturer, whereas now I would decline the offer of that manufacturer, look for another one who can just arrange the product in way smaller batches. Maybe it's not customized yet, but it's fine, because then you have less of an investment, meaning less of a risk. And most importantly, I don't attach my identity to my business anymore. Back then, I really wanted a skincare brand. I loved skincare. I was living and breathing skincare. I was so passionate about selling it. But right now, I just stepped away from the fact that I would need to start a business that I was so passionate about. Especially in the beginning, it's way smarter to start a business from logic than from love. So when that skincare brand failed, it just took some time, but I still realized I'm Doreen, I'm capable, I can start this all over again. I just need to do a little bit more research ahead, a little bit more market validation, and that's it, honestly. So if you're watching this and you can kind of relate, maybe you're right in the middle of something like this, maybe you're right in the middle of something falling apart, maybe a project is not working, or a launch that's failing just as mine did, please remember it's okay to stop. It's okay to draw a line if it makes sense. It's okay to admit that something is not right, but just make sure that you draw the line early enough before it gets too late. Because I don't call that a failure then. It's more a prevention of ever failing, because now you still have budget left to pivot and do something else. Sometimes walking away is just exactly what you need to do to clear the space for your new next project that will drive you success. And that's exactly what happened to me. I stopped my skincare business, I started focusing back on dropshipping, making some more cash, and then eventually I again started a brand, an e-commerce brand in the health and wellness space. We started this brand 1.5 years ago, and up until now we generated close to $7 million. So that failure, I don't consider it as a failure. I would rather lose $30,000 and gain the experience than to keep pretending and lose years of my life. So if this story helped you, drop a like, drop a comment of maybe something that you can relate with. And if you want to see what my life looks like building a 7-figure business, then that video is right here.